In a whole
It's
new,
right on your head.
whole new place.
It's funny how that works.
Food products. But it's going well.
Well, I love the town so much, I didn't know how hard.
I love my demo.
No, it's not necessary.
Okay.
The state has made it almost.
Plugged in.
Art,
I
so much
tried to
harder.
create a single page. I couldn't
Thank
do
you.
that.
All right, the bell tolls 7, so we will call to order the Select Board meeting for Monday, November 24th, 2025, from the training room of the Public Safety Complex. And we have people joining us on Zoom. Just a quick note that at the end of the meeting, we will be going into executive session and adjourning executive session, coming back to regular session just to adjourn the regular meeting. All right, let's start with consent items. Oh, I'm supposed to read that, I'm sorry. Executive session will be for, number 1, the Select Board will enter into executive session pursuant to Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 30A, Section 21A1, to discuss the reputation, character, physical condition, or mental health, rather than the professional competence of a particular individual or public employee, and pursuant to Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A1, and that will be for basically approving our executive meeting minutes. Now we're on to consent items. First up is to approve the meeting minutes from the regular meeting held on November 10th, 2025. Number 2, to approve the meeting minutes from the joint meeting held with the Finance Committee on November 12th, 2025. Number 3, to appoint Jeffrey Taska as the alternate for the Central Massachusetts Regional Planning Commission with a term ending June 30th, 2026. And number 4, to approve trash liens in the amount of $3,458.22. May I have a motion, please?
I move that we approve the consent items.
Second?
Any discussion on any of the consent items?
Nope.
Hearing none, we don't have anybody on Zoom from the board, so all in favor?
Aye.
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 And the chair votes aye. Excellent. All right, next up, we have an update from our cemetery commission. No, we don't have an update from our cemetery commission, but we have an update from the cable committee. That I know we have. I see Mr. Polovich over there.
Good evening, everybody. Glad to see you all look presentable.
Nick, thanks for coming this evening.
Well, thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you. A lot to talk about here, and so on and so forth. So, of course, this isn't going to work. Nick Polovich, 15 Tanglewood Road, Chairman of the Cable and Communications Committee, giving me a little update right now. So we've had some bumps in the road, as you all know, since we started about a year ago, but we're working them pretty well, and so I'm going to give you a list of what we are doing and can do and what we plan on doing. So number 1, closed captioning on all meetings that we do here on YouTube and then on the television. In order to use it on television, you have to set it up or set it up for closed captioning to see them, but they are available. And my own feeling is with closed captioning, we have capabilities for 104 languages, so sometime in the middle of the next year or the beginning of the year, we're going to see if we can open it up for other languages for closed captioning. Mass access channels, we just signed in for mass.
That's okay. It's just people signing on to the.
Oh, is that okay? Sorry about that. Thought it was dinner time. So mass access, we just signed up. We're going to have capabilities for bringing in anything from that's produced publicly from Massachusetts for content. We're looking for content, and that will be up and running probably tomorrow when we're done. And we'll start seeing some new things probably on the educational station on 192. Something that we worked, John Slavich on the committee and myself went to Anna Maria, and we met with Professor Linda Nolan. She's the director of graduate business programs and internships. They're very, very keen on having an internship. I can't even pronounce it now. Getting nervous here. Interns to come with us. So it's quite a long vetting process for that. We have to have a job description that we started writing on Friday's meeting for them as what we can do. We're looking at two of them, basically, one for production for shows from Anna Maria, and also for the just having it for our own use. So that's promising, but it's a long, like I said, it's a pretty long process. They vet people, vet them. We have to go in and interview the 2 or 3 candidates that they approve of, and then work from there. So we're hoping to get more involvement with Anna Maria. I think it's a good cause. I know we always talk about it. We're using the Zeco Center for the meeting on the 1st. And we're just going to keep building on that. I think that's something that we probably should have done long ago, but we didn't have the capabilities or the manpower. We still don't have the manpower, people power, rather. So we're doing that. The bulletin board, we've had some issues with that. That should be up and running hopefully by the end of the week, and we'll have our bulletins, and we're opening it up for town committees and town departments to put their own material on our bulletin board. The first one I promised Robin Tasca and the Garden Club, but we haven't been able to get that up and running yet. So you'll be the first one to test it for us, I hope, if that's okay. So we had we had some committee meetings with some other committees, and there was some misconception of what the cable can do. So we decided that, hey, we're going to start a mission statement of what we can and cannot do, so there's no confusion in the town of what we're capable of. You know, we're not capable of doing shows off campus here. There's only 2 of us really. Until we get some interns, we're going to just keep it the way it is right now. But we're planning on getting more involved as we build up. Recently, COA upgrades. I call it rack and roll. Scott hates that term, but we're getting a new rack. We're setting it up. We have connection from the COA here for live broadcast from the COA. If we still have to get some more equipment, but we're hoping that by the end of the year we'll be up 100% there. So if the COA wants to do some shows, we'll be able to do it live. If certain committees that don't come into this room can do it live. And so that's a big thing that we wanted to keep. So that will be up by the end of the year. We're looking at the Wi-Fi and this audio board at the Paxton Center School. And I was just notified by Robert, the ITA, that the school is maintained by the district, correct?
Correct. So the Wi-Fi would fall
For the
under
Wi-Fi
their
would have to go through the district.
Yep.
Now, we have no problems with contributing for PEG, and that's the problem is, we have a lot of income, but it has to be for PEG related, and that's the problem. So, any groups that want to borrow equipment, we will train you for equipment. You can do your own shows. You can, if you have videos from your vacation on the Cape, we'll take those for production too. So we're going to open it up to the whole town. Hopefully, we'll get a lot of people coming for that. Let's see. We do have a tomato committee opening, so we'd like to get someone on there who'd like to do it. It's not really a tough thing to do. We meet 3rd Friday of the month when we have things to talk about, so we'd like to get that filled also. More the merrier. I want to go back a little bit about the Anna Maria for the December 1st. There was an STM planning meeting over there. We weren't invited, so I'm not sure what we're going to do for when we set up, if it's going to be adequate for what you're looking for. But we're going to go do probably about 9 or 10 microphones plus 2 boom mics. And I'm not sure if they're even having a closed captioning board at that meeting. Does anyone know that?
Yes, we do.
You are? Okay.
Yep.
So we'll be in tune with that. And then we're planning on, I think, Brian, is it 3 o'clock on the 1st that we're going in for a setup?
Correct.
Okay. Right. So basically, that's all I have right now. Are there any questions anyone has?
How many openings do you have on the cable committee?
There's 5. We have one that's was the town administrator. Dropped out. So we're down 1. We have 4 now.
So we're down 1?
Yeah.
It's a great way to get started in being more involved in the town. It's
I
not a
learned
lot
a
of
lot.
heavy lifting. Am I right with that?
Pardon me?
It's not a lot of heavy lifting.
No, not really. It's the heavy lifters in that room right there. So, but I mean, we need direction. You know, I've been doing it for like 20 years, or at least 14 for the chair, and you know, I don't have all the answers. You know, I made a lot of mistakes too. So, you know, the more the merrier. Brian's been great on it. John Slavich has been good in there, getting up to speed. We are going to have training for the committee for running the equipment, because if Scott goes down, then, you know, we're going to have some issues with things. So it's you know, really not a hard thing.
Excellent.
So we got to come a long way here, no doubt about it. And that's all I have. Any
other questions here?
The only thing I wanted to mention, right, just piggybacking on what Peter said, you know, if there's somebody out there that's interested in the technology, this is a great way to sort of get some access and training, and, you know, if that's a career path that you're interested in or something to that effect.
Oh, yeah, we have a national network broadcast system in that room right there. And I've talked to a lot of people that have Telviews, and they have half of what we bought. We just bought it for the future, and the future's taken a while to get here. You know, we have a lot of things to do, and we're doing one thing at a time. And so we are working hard.
Any other questions or comments?
No, just thank you for all you do.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nick. Appreciate it.
So
Have a
much,
wonderful evening. And that last ding was the dinner bell, so I'm glad you wrapped it up.
Thanks for having me up.
Thank you, Nick.
Thank you for coming.
You got that 20 I gave you, right? To get
All right. Excuse me. Next up is a presentation by the Paxton Garden Club in respect to creating a community garden next to the basketball court on the center fields. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Is there a way to get our...
Yes, I can get over.
So, thanks,
Robin, just
Robert. Appreciate that.
Move the microphone a little closer to you.
Oh, sorry. All right. So, just making sure. All right. Thank you very much. We appreciate being here tonight. Tonight you have myself, Robin Tasca, the president of the Garden Club. With me is John Pendercudlip and Dustin Hill. And Dustin Hill actually has 2 hats because he's a member of Recreation as well. So we appreciate you allowing us to come this evening to hear our latest request. For those that at home, I'm not going to read this, but for those that are at home, this is a little bit about us. We've been around since 2020, and then we became official club in 23, and we've been full speed ahead ever since. We give back to the community in a couple of different ways through community service, all the municipal gardens that we're taking care of. We just actually put everything to bed over the last couple of weeks. We offer an educator grant for those that are teaching Paxton students. We awarded our first one to the library in 24, and then we just did Turn Back Time this past fall. And then we also offer public programming. We do about 8 to 10 public lectures that are free for everyone on horticultural topics. And the reason we're here tonight, Sean?
Slide 4, this speaks to the civic benefits of having a community garden. I'm not going to read them all out, just point out a couple. We learned just recently, thanks to Robin, that the new STEAM teacher in the school wants to incorporate the use of our facilities when we can provide them. So that's exciting already that there's interest from the community. Putting the survey, I'll talk about that, putting my hat on as a member of the Open Space and Recreation Planning Committee. As you know, we ran a survey. As it happens, we got a response of nearly 400 out of nearly 2,000 sent out. which is a 20% response rate, which is decent when you compare it to the 25% vote turnout for the budget vote, which was obviously very keenly advertised. So that's pretty decent. What we haven't tabulated all the results yet. However, it's pretty safe to say that the community garden comes in the top 3 once, and it's a no-cost item to the town. About halfway through the survey, it was trending along with pickleball as the 2 most popular ones. So there's definite demand for it, and it's going to benefit the community a lot, apart from ourselves. Okay.
Okay, so I'll go over kind of a few slides on the location for those of you who don't know where it is over on Center Fields. So the proximity in the red box is the area that we have slated for this. It's right next to the basketball court, if you're familiar with that, and just east of the school. So here's just a couple closer shots. The proximity on the left-hand side shows where it is to the parking lot that exists. On the right-hand side, just a zoomed-in area between the parking lot and the current basketball court. So the location is a really good spot for this, primarily for ease of access. You've got the parking lot right there. Most importantly, for a garden, you've got full sun. If you've ever walked in that area, there's really no shade at all. All day long, it's going to get sun. And more importantly, the proximity to the school. As John just mentioned, and Robin mentioned, the grant with the school to get kids involved with the garden, it would be right outside their door and they can take a walk. I know firsthand experience, my children that are at school do a lot of nature walks in the back. This would just be added on to that, which would be a great benefit for the children there. This slide just shows more in detail the parking lot. So if you're looking straight ahead on the left-hand side, there is a small rock wall there. That would be cleaned up. That could be some perennial flowers in there, some shade plants, just adds an overall nice aesthetic to the entrance of the garden. You've got the rock wall there on the top right, and then the pictures I'll show on the coming slide show a lot of the invasives that are in the area. So kind of a benefit of putting the garden there is to rid the area of invasives like Japanese knotweed and tree of heaven, I think another one that's pretty prevalent in the photos you'll see. So the picture shows how big of an area it is. It's just under, I think it's about 1/3 of an acre to 1/2 an acre. You can see on the picture on the left, against the back there, that's all the invasives. So that stuff spreads really quickly if it's not eradicated. So the group will make sure that's cleaned out and prevent it from spreading further. So this field currently doesn't really have a lot of use. It's primarily vacant land, so that's why we see it as a good spot. The location is available to anyone in town to come down, park right there, and it's located near the water that the Recreation Commission has, as well as electricity. So it's a good spot that we feel would benefit the town.
Absolutely.
This last photo just shows some of the more detailed of the invasives. So this is the type of stuff we want to clean out so it doesn't continue to spread.
Exactly. So thanks, Dustin. So our rough concept, this is not exact, but this gives you a flavor of what we hope to achieve, over time. We don't expect this to happen overnight, but it would be a mix of in-ground and raised beds. The in-ground raised beds, it's funny that they're called raised beds, but they're in the ground, and then there's the table height ones, because we want to make sure this is completely ADA accessible so that everyone at Paxton can benefit it, regardless of age or ability. We're going to put a rain catchment system in, compost bin. We would love to have a greenhouse, a pergola with some picnic tables, which would be great for, respite, also educational learning, to have a community, talk, and then the kids could go out and do their work, or adults or so forth. A small shed to hold all the equipment, and of course a sign acknowledging that it's the community garden and any and all benefactors, including the town, that have helped support it, similar to other signs that are out there. It took us probably 12 renditions to get ChatGPT to cooperate and give me the image that we were hoping for. And these are just some structure inspirations that we're taking from. This is, again, not exact, but just to give you a flavor of what our hopes and dreams are, right? Because it's always great to have hopes and dreams. And there you can see one of the picnic tables is missing a seat because a wheelchair or somebody in a rollator would be able to just, scoot up there, which would be nice. Our process. So we have been going on tour all summer. It's been a lot of fun. From when we figured out that this is what we wanted to do as a club, we started meeting with all the stakeholders in town, from very first with the assessor's office all the way through. We are here in front of you tonight. We've met with a lot of boards and committees just to get their feedback and to get their endorsement, because we realize that not all of them can actually have an approval say with outside of recreation and yourselves, but we wanted to get endorsement for everybody. That included both the fire and police chief, because it was important from a safety perspective that we included them in the plans. We even spoke to the single sole residential abutter. She new to her home, which is 15 West, which is basically her backyard would be up against the garden. She loves the idea. She's so excited. We met her. She's really looking forward to seeing this come to fruition in her yard, and she said it'll inspire her with her own gardening projects and so forth. So I've also reached out to the zoning board, and they don't think that they would need to be involved, but of course, if that changed, they would let us know. We will work with any and all stakeholders in town to make sure that we do this correctly. We don't want to have any missteps, and if we did make a misstep, it would solely be because we just weren't aware and we just made a mistake, and we would definitely rectify that instantaneously. So that sums that up. And then we tried to anticipate any and all FAQs that you possibly could add. I'm not going to read everything, but because it's it's on here. But this would have no expense to the taxpayer in town unless they chose to support garden club fundraisers, but no town expense. Where you'll be doing everything through fundraising, grants, and in-kind donations. Everyone can use this. It will be ADA accessible. Right now, the school would definitely benefit from it. They have a science unit called Soils and Seeds, and the science teacher, the new STEAM teacher, said he would love to be able to have this there for him to do it. Also, the village, which is the 55-plus condos, those folks that live there are not able to have raised gardens due to their HOA rules and restrictions. So this would benefit them. This would benefit also the people of the hills, because there are no gardening plots or raised beds or so forth over there. So they'd be able to utilize this. The seniors, it's nice. It's right behind the senior center. It's right next to the snack shack, which has bathrooms and so forth. So everybody would be able to take advantage of it. And gardening together is always fun. How would it work? We would, once we're all up and running, we would rent the beds seasonally. This is very customary to how other community gardens function, especially the one in Holden. They charge a very nominal fee, and then it goes into an account that would be used for future maintenance and so forth. The garden club would be taking care of all of this, so there's no burden to recreation or the town in any way, shape, or form. Security plans, to the best of our ability, we would, monitor the area. We would put in security cameras, have little signs posted. Everything that you do, everything that rec does to ensure that the other public structures don't have any challenges. Things happen, but we're going to try and mitigate everything as possible. Safety, again, it's right along the access road. There's the ADA unit. So I think we're there. Then everybody loves it. Space is nothing at the moment. The watering source, we would put in a rain catchment system, fancy name for rain barrels. There would be a future opportunity to tap into a well that Recreation's looking to install in the area, so that would be something that we could do in the future as well. We would employ organic, non-pesticide gardening practices, good gardening practices. What would be grown? It's up to each individual for their plot, but we would, as a gardening club, we would be doing fruits and vegetables that could be given to the food pantries in town. There too. There's the COA, and then also the Congregational Church. So we would, be providing for that. We would also be doing companion planting. Your cosmos, marigolds, and sunflowers, which tomatoes love. So we would be doing that. Let's see, and then. And then here we are, last but not least, our official request to you, the board, because we've already gone through this official process with Recreation, and they made 2 unanimous motions that were approved unanimously on August 6th and then on September 10th. We asked to have the land and enter into an agreement with them, and Recreation supported that wholeheartedly. So that's what we are looking for from you, because we realize that it's not just Recreation, that it's a 2-part approval system, kind of like when you're talking to mom and dad. You got to get mom's approval and then go to dad, or vice versa. So here we are. Questions, thoughts?
I think it's a fantastic idea. I really do. What a great way to bring people together. So I love what I've heard. My only concern is going to be water. Should we go through it? Again, I've never used a rain barrel, so I'm not that familiar with it. But that's my only concern is who's responsible. So the water source is going to be there with the rain barrels.
Yes.
Should there not be water available there, would it be up to the individual owners then to provide water?
Most community gardens, all the ones that we've been to, have rain barrels.
Yep.
Some are enormous, and some are smaller, more like you'd see at the home. So you really need to have rain barrels there. Is your concern?
It's not really a
being
concern.
tampered with?
I'm just asking about it because I don't know anything about rain barrels. Never had one.
Yeah, I'm going to defer to Roger. Roger's our resident gardening expert. Roger is the design genius behind all of the municipal perennial gardens that we have in town. And Roger has a beautiful rain barrel system. So
Roger needs a microphone. Right behind you,
yes,
Roger.
but he does.
Thank you, Dick.
Good evening. I live in Cutler Road, and off my ranch-type house, I've got 3 rain barrels coming off the back. The photograph was in Robin's presentation. And basically, when one barrel is full, it flows into the next one, and so on and so forth. So with those 350-gallon rain barrels, I have been almost totally able to supply all my watering needs for my yard, which is fairly comprehensive. Planters, even into the landscape as well. But it's a simple exercise. I have some small storage containers. You can fill the buckets. The only problem is if it doesn't rain, then you scramble a little bit, but you got to make sure that everything is in working order. And even in the middle of a rainstorm, I will go out with or without an umbrella and try to make sure that the thing is working, because I want my 3 times 150-gallon rain barrels all full as much as possible. If we put in a larger 375-gallon system, then there should be, well, one would hope, ample water for everybody. If the town would put in a well, that would help matters considerably, but we all have plastic containers, and it doesn't take an awful lot to fill a plastic container from your home, fill a plastic container from the rain barrels, and store them underneath your own bed or whatever. But we're in the lap of the gods. Does it rain enough? Whatever. But all things being equal, rain barrels are a good way to go.
Terrific, thank you. Any other questions or comments?
That was
I think
a
it's
really
a-
good question.
I think it's a nice touch. It's a great spot too, bringing the school, closer to it too. So
Yep.
I think it's a great idea.
I love it.
I do. I think it's a great idea, and I think it'll be wonderful once you get it all going, and it's going to be a lot of work, but
Yes.
but if anybody can do it, this
For
group
sure.
can do it.
That's
Definitely
right.
can do it.
There are a couple of things. So as we mentioned, and one thing I forgot to, as part of this, because we want to make it accessible right now, if you were to go to that spot, there's a little bit of I'm going to call like a hump, because the way that it was created with the parking lot, because there used to be like a weird sidewalk that went up there, and DPW fixed that a number of years ago, and now it's just like a little hump, and like you or I can hoof up it and we're fine, but somebody else might be a little challenging. So we most likely would have to put some sort of retaining wall there and a staircase, and then of course we want to put a ramp so that if somebody is in a wheelchair or somebody has a walker or a rollator, they can get up there. And we're looking at Tower Hill. I don't know if anybody has been to Tower Hill. I'm taking a gander that everybody's been to Tower Hill at one point in time. They have a very nice brick sloped walking path, and it's a very gentle grade because, from where their parking lot is, it's a little uphill. So we're looking at that sort of inspiration for an easy walking path from the parking lot. Wouldn't be huge, but to get right up there. And that would benefit everybody, those that want to visit the Little League, those that want to go to the basketball court. So we would be enhancing that space accessibility-wise for everything that's up there, not just for the garden club. And the brick pathway, we do envision having selling bricks as part of a fundraiser to help support the cost of this, and having them engraved very similar to what the Legion has, to what's already there in front of the snack shack now. Little League did that, so that already exists in town, so we would be kind of, continuing on with that thought process. And we're very fortunate that Kevin Quinn of Quinn Engineering here in town is donating his services to our club and the project to ensure that everything is designed appropriately, so that we get it right from day one.
Great.
Perfect.
That's great.
So I just need a motion then, if we would like to enter into this MOU that is being proposed this evening.
I will make a motion that we enter into an MOU with the Paxton Garden Club to create a community garden.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? Okay, again, nobody's on Zoom tonight. All in favor?
Aye.
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 And the chair votes aye. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. You guys are doing a terrific job.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Thank
I
you.
think back to when you first started and to where you are now, it's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I did not anticipate, when we threw this idea out to the club, I didn't anticipate the energy. I mean, we talked for 45 minutes and brainstormed. The club really wants to go forward with
Good.
this. So we will definitely keep everybody in the loop as we progress.
Terrific.
Fantastic.
So now on for the money.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. Good evening.
All right. Next up, we need to review the charge for the current Charter Review Committee. Dave, you want to come forward, sir? Maybe he doesn't. Mr. Johnson, you want to come forward? All right.
You want to go up front?
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Thank you for coming in again. Oh, they were all here for the garden club.
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's great. They brought a lot of energy. All right, so we've all had a chance to read over the committee charge. I didn't see any particular issues with the charge as written, but I'd like to get other comments.
I reviewed it, and once I had taken a look at it, I thought that it really did cover all of the bases. So I wasn't sure that I saw anything that I felt needed to be changed.
Yeah, that's how I read it as well. Carol?
I don't have anything to add now.
So the charge, the way it was written by the select board back when this was done, which is, I don't have the date, I apologize. I think it's a well-written charge and outlines pretty well. The only thing I can look at is that we may have to extend that date. I believe March 31st, 2026 is the expectation date, and the select board sometime before then probably have to extend that, I would assume. Would you agree?
Yes, I think we may even have to go beyond that, but we're hoping not to. But
Yeah. But if you do need to, we're certainly prepared to do so. But other than that, the charge itself looks pretty good. The scope of work is pretty thorough.
Yeah.
I kind of like the way it's written.
I really have no objection to it.
Yep.
The only point that I was trying to insist, and I'd still ask you to consider it, although not to rewrite the charge, but just to make sure, from our perspective, that we have a mandate to draft a special act charter. That's all. And I'm not sure that it says that because it's a little bit, less specific than I, as a drafter of any sort of document of that nature, would want. Other than that, I mean, it's up to you guys also. We're going to hand you something, and then you can do whatever you want with it. But the reality is, I'd like to make sure that the interpretation of this select board, which has new members, is on board, hopefully unanimously, with the idea that we are drafting or going out to draft and in the process of drafting a special act charter, so that there is absolutely no question that we're not going the other process. We're doing a home rule charter to be filed as a special act legislation rather than asking the state to create a charter for us.
Yeah, I would go ahead.
Yeah, so I would propose two changes then, just to make that specific.
Just to make it clearer?
Yep. So under scope of work for number 1, I would say review and evaluate the current special act town charter. And then under number 5, present a final report to the select board and town voters, including any recommendations for changes to the charter, which would then be approved through special legislation.
I agree. I know that, although I'm thinking it might be easier. I've tried drafting some of the, the language I think it would be easier if we revoked the intergovernmental act and write a brand new starter, because we'd have to be going into the weeds of section such and such is hereby revealed and replaced. And we're going to be calling the document we're going to present to you a charter, special act charter, whereas based upon what we've heard from the archivists and the language, those are intergovernmental acts as opposed to a charter. So I would be ultimately recommending that we basically repeal one of those special acts. Well, I'm not going to repeal anything that has to do with the 5-member select board, anything like that. And in fact, we're going to ideally essentially take the language of the town administrator and essentially put it in there, but it's still going to leave other stuff. I think it's if we start a nice clean slate and work on that.
So I hear what you're saying, that you think there's going to be substantial changes such that it makes more sense to replace it rather than revise it.
Yes.
And that's, I think, fine, but we're not at that place yet, right? So once we have a completed working version of this, then we can go to town council and find out what the process is that we need to follow. Sure. I wouldn't worry about that right now. I don't think it really impacts the charge, but definitely something to be considered as we go forward.
Well, just as long as you know that's where we're going.
Yep.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I think that's fine.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, excellent.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Have a great night.
Thank you.
Good job. May I ask a question of the...
Through the chair, sure.
It was my understanding after last meeting that the select board had that you spent a lot of time explaining I guess, through the archivist, that we do not have a charter. Can you just elaborate on that?
Sure. The word charter is a word of art, work of art, okay? And what we have is a special act charter. But if you look at the documentation that we have on what's titled intergovernmental or governmental act, you will not find anywhere in any of those drafts the word charter. Okay, so it is not a charter in name. It's a charter in part in that it has some of the things that a charter has to have, or need to have, or should have under the best practices procedures. Okay? So when I say that we don't have a charter, we don't have a charter. But there is a provision in the state legislation, the Home Rule Charter Act, which was amended, and the amendment is what we're working on, which gives us the authority, the legal authority, to use the special act process. The special act process is of something that where the town generates its own charter and then goes to the state and says, here we go. The other one is one that's basically initiated by a gubernatorial position. So what I'm saying is we are looking at things that are not contemplated, a lot of things that are not contemplated. And without being disrespectful in any way, shape, or form, there is some characterization of some of the over 200 people we talked to that the charter that we have, or what we're calling a charter, and which is in place of a charter, is essentially a document that is more of a job description for the town administrator than anything that defines effectively some of the role of governmental agencies, municipal agencies. So that's what I mean. I mean, do we have a charter? Yeah, I can make a legal argument that we do. Is it a good charter? Well, to the extent that it is a charter, yes, but it is woefully missing a lot of things.
Okay.
And hence, the charge that we got is to review it and make a recommendation.
Okay, so I guess my question after the explanation is the charge to the committee, it says to review the current town charter. Are we calling it a town charter, or are we calling it legally something else? Because everything in the charge says that town charter, do this, do that, and do whatever. So I just didn't know if the charge needed to be amended to, I guess, accompany what you're trying to do.
May I try?
Go ahead.
The law hates a vacuum. In the circumstance that we have here, there is a definition that says, in the absence of a charter, a special act document may act as a charter. So if you want to characterize what we have now, we have something that is acting as a charter. Does this mean it is a charter? The legal definition of a charter and the fact that the legal requirement to have a charter on file with the state archivist, and the fact that the state archivist says there is none, means that we don't have a capital charter, capital C. We have a lowercase c charter. Those are some of my characterizations.
Okay, so are you comfortable with the way the charge is written, or should it be amended to just make sure there's no misunderstanding as to what they're doing?
Well, the
We've just
government,
done that.
the government, yeah, and the Government Act acts as a charter. So really, I think we've got that covered.
So, but I'm saying, should it be referred to as the Government Acts Charter versus the Town Charter? Or is it the Government Acts Charter for the town of Paxton?
Julia's just mentioned that. That's what she just changed.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I, for what it's worth, in my opinion being whatever it's worth, is the fact that I don't see any reason that we have to change that. I'm not asking and haven't asked for that to be changed. I mean, if we were writing that today, I would ask it to say one word, but I don't think there's any need to change that. We don't want, because we keep in mind that to change that, we would have to do some things that are just off the path of what we're trying to do.
All right, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. All right. Next up, discuss possible next step with the property at 10 West Street. And I am going to open this discussion if we could, although thank you for sharing some of those emails. One of them I got a good laugh out of. I personally, after listening to Mrs. Love talking about the stress of our COA, which is an older building already. I would prefer that we keep that, make it a small community center available to local clubs, local organizations, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, etc. And I'll even take it a step further because I think this would be a great way to top this conversation. I would love to call it the Robert Mortel Community Center. For those of you that don't know who Robert Mortel is, Robert Mortel was a former police chief here in Paxton who had his life taken from us in the line of duty. That's my thoughts. I'd like to hear your thoughts, different ideas. We all saw some emails that were shared with us from our town administrator. Julia, why don't you go next?
Yeah, I'm behind you 100% on that, Peter. It was clear, we heard from several members of the community when we were talking with Ms. Love about the struggles at the senior center with space and being able to utilize that and make sure that the seniors have their own space that they can use and, you know, be able to set up for events without worrying about things getting unset and whatnot. So you heard, as well as I did, from other members of the community that stepped up and said, but we have nowhere else to go. I think this solves both of those problems. In addition, it is a smaller space over there at 10 West. So I suspect that when we're worried about energy conservation, that building may actually be more efficient in the long run. I think it needs some upgrades and work to get to that place. But in order for groups to go in, you're not, you know, worrying about heating and lighting an entire building that used to be a school. You have a small 800 square foot space that you're dealing with, which hopefully would be a little bit more efficient.
Go ahead, Chris.
I would say I'm not opposed to having it as meeting because I know we are in some constraints with, you know, meeting places. A couple things I would have to keep in mind is renovations, what needs to be doing for the maintenance part, the upkeeping, the parking. So I think it would be a better idea just to see what else is probably out there. But I'm not opposed to the meeting spaces. We're all in a budget crisis right now, so understanding where, you know, I guess looking at all avenues may be relevant for the town as well. So,
do you have another idea in mind?
I mean, I've read some of those emails. I just don't know how vocal it is for, you know, what the property is worth, renting it. It's kind of just been sitting there since 10 West left. So I'm kind of 50-50.
Okay, fair enough.
Yep.
Appreciate that. Thank you, Chris.
Yep.
Carol?
I like some of the ideas that came from the emails, but I don't think that the town should be a landlord. I don't think we do a good job of it. I don't think it's something we should be doing. That building has had a lot of issues. The state it's in now needs a lot of work, but I think it's doable that it could be made into just a simple meeting place for small groups like the Scouts or the Girl Scouts who have got nowhere else to go. And I don't want to sell it personally because I think it's still part of the town, and it might bring more problems because it's next to town hall. There's only a small parking lot, so it always obviously overflow onto us. So I think if we can look into renovating it for usable space for the town, I think that'd be, in my mind, a good option. And it might even work for an office space at some point.
Right.
You know, look at what we've just done with Clingley Field.
That's right.
So.
And you had mentioned that before. I think Chris and I came on board, but I think I was here one night when you had mentioned that clearing out town potential meeting space could leave us stifled in the future.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, real estate comes at a premium, and we're never going to get it back if we lose that building. if we end up, as most towns do, growing in size, and we need additional office space, we're not going to have that available to us. If we secure it in this way, then we'll have it in perpetuity going forward, and we can flex that space in whatever way is most suitable to the town at the time. But if we have to go out and purchase space or renovate new space or build space in the future, that's going to be far more expensive than if we hold on to this.
So, Chris, I'm back to you. What are you thinking? Were you thinking, if we were to bring a business in, were you thinking about selling? Were you thinking about
I do agree for the fact of once you give it up, you'll never get it back. So I do agree, we're not good landlords. I think we all know that.
I think we've proven that, haven't we?
Yes. I think, I don't know, I'm torn between the meetings because I know we don't have enough spots other than the senior centers. So I don't know.
That's fine. That's fair enough.
One thing to keep in mind,
Go ahead.
for any building that's owned by the town, if it's being used for town purposes, there's no tax owed on it. If it's being used for non-town purposes, such as if there's somebody that comes in and rents it, then we have to pay property tax on that building. And so what we ran into with the former tenants is that the cost of that building actually exceeded what we brought in, between having to pay the property tax on it, but also maintain it. The amount that we received in rent was not sufficient to be in the black.
Which highlights the fact that we are not very good landlords.
Exactly.
Mr. Burkback, what do you think?
And the insurance is actually very high in it.
Yeah.
So I agree with a lot of the things that you're saying, especially if we sell it. That's something that we can't reverse. We're not getting that back. Right now, the market is not very strong for commercial buildings. So if we sell it now, it's kind of created on price. But if we do keep it under our possession, we try the community center route. We give it a year or two. It's not working out the way we intended. Maybe the market's better, and then we can revisit what to do then. But if we sell it just right now, we can never go back. So, and that's something I'm definitely concerned about, the parking and just the use of the building being in such close proximity to the town hall, and just seeing it firsthand, the current condition of it, it would definitely need some improvements for sale, and that we possibly wouldn't have to do if we retained it ourselves. So
what's the desire of the board for our next step?
I think we should look into the cost of renovating it to what we need it for.
I think that would be step one.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so should we charge the town administrator
Yeah.
with taking a look at that?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think there's two pieces of that. We have the insurance proceeds from the damaged pipes, and then we also have. Did you have something, Neil? No. Okay, thank you. We have the insurance proceeds from the damaged pipes that we need to figure out how we're going to use, and if there's additional money that's due us from the insurance aspect of that. And then one other thing that we can look into, I know Bay Path was looking for projects as well.
Yeah, which is something that I had discussed with Rob as well.
Yeah,
Which is a great idea.
yeah. And I imagine that we may be able to find some amount of work donated for that purpose as well, so.
Mr. Polovich.
What is the occupancy rate of 800 square feet? It's about 53 with furniture, isn't it?
That's something that we'll have to look into before we make a final decision, of course. I'm not sure, to be honest with you, off the top of my head.
Yeah, I think it's, well, I looked it up. It doesn't mean it's concise or not, but 800 strip bare with furniture is 53 people max. Without furniture, you're going to have probably about 115. But
And I don't, and again, I don't know how many people are in the Scouts and all that. This is all stuff that we're just starting to explore, but that's a good point. I appreciate it. Thank you. All right. So, Mr. Town Administrator,
Yes.
I think you heard what we'd like to explore.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yes, it does.
Okay. Board was satisfied?
Yes.
Yep.
All right. Then let's move on. We have old business. I don't have anything for old business. Does anybody else?
No.
No.
I've got correspondence next. First up, Dear Select Board, last week a family member fell and injured their head while in their home. Thankfully, this family member was able to reach their phone and immediately called 911. Firefighter EMT Megan Stevens and firefighter paramedic Rick McGinn, assisted by Captain Jeff Olson, as well as Police Sergeant Forrest Thorpe, responded in truly a remarkably short period of time. Excuse me, I haven't felt well all weekend and still struggling with that. Care was administered on the scene to slow the bleeding, and our family member was transported to UMass Campus Hospital. This family member could not say enough good things about the outstanding people who responded to their call for help. Words cannot convey my level of gratitude for the fine men and women working for our public safety services. It was reported to me that not only was the care fantastic provided by Megan, Rick, Jeff, and Forrest, but it was administered in the kindest way possible. We are very fortunate to live in a community employing such wonderful people. Thank you, Peter Bogren Jr. What a fun. Next, this is correspondence from Mr. Love, our Finance Committee Chair, to myself and Robert. I'm writing the two of you to express my disappointment and dismay that following the FinCom and Select Board joint meeting held on Thursday, 11/12/25, whereupon the warrant articles that will be presented to the special town meeting, or to the STM as it's written, on 12/1/25 were discussed extensively at that joint meeting and were left subject, albeit approved, but subject to certain corrections being made and subject to town council's review, edit, and approval. Of the remaining 8 articles, number 5 and number 6 were corrected. Number 7 and number 8 were edited substantially. Number 3 had language added, and number 9 was dropped entirely. That is considerable by any standard. While it is not my place or position to say or speak on behalf of all FinCom members, I do not believe that any of those corrections or edits are likely to change the votes taken by the FinCom on 11/12/25, but that is entirely beside the point. These new, updated, edited warrant articles should have been immediately sent to FinCom members or to my attention for distribution to FinCom members immediately upon their availability, rather than for us to find them happenstance on the town's website. Sending them directly to us would have been the proper and, at the very least, professional, the courteous, and the collegial way to have handled this. The way that this was handled, or moreover not handled, is void of any of that. I will be quick to give the new town administrator a pass on this matter, as such matters may be new to him. But such matters are not new to any select board members or chairs. The adage "working together" is a refrain repeatedly mentioned. Mention should also be made that it cuts both ways. And then the vice chair of the Finance Committee was also copied. Disappointingly, Mark Love, Finance Committee. So I wanted to address this because when, as I think I've made clear in several public meetings, when I make a mistake, I like to own it. I like to claim it and ask for forgiveness. Certainly, I agree that Rob deserves a pass. He's new to this procedure. And I've been on this board for 5 or 6 months this go around, and the muscle memory isn't quite what it was, having taken 3 years off being on the board. That being said, I should have known when they came in that I should have forwarded them along. They were going to go to they were going to go to town council, so at the same time, they could have been asked for, just to kind of share the responsibility there. But then I'm going to continue on if I could. And that is because the other night, the Capital Improvement Planning Committee met. And they brought up some things that clearly they were not happy with us about. And being the chair, I want to make it clear that us should be me. I'm the chair, so these are my responsibilities. First up, I want to address that they had mentioned that the police vehicles were passed over at the annual town meeting. And it's true, we did not bring it to Capitol's attention. I had the police chief approach me literally as the meeting was about to begin. That is without exaggeration. He was the one who, according to the warrant, brought forward the police vehicle warrant article. I said that I would pass him over, which we did, and then I asked for an explanation. I'm going to read for you the explanation, which I take responsibility for not sharing. I didn't share it because I don't like to be divisive. I don't like to bring things to light that don't bring us together. So this was sent to me at 9:15 p.m. of the date of June 16th, which was the date of the town meeting. Hi, Pete. I tried to talk to Detective Keller again to upfit our vehicle, and unfortunately, I received the same answer. While I'm truly sad things have reached this point, I have to respect his feelings. I've attached his response he sent me in writing in the event you are ever questioned why the cruiser article was passed over. Without Dave doing the work, there is no way possible to make the already reduced amount work. We will make it work with our cruisers this year, and if needed, next year also. If you would like to discuss this in person, I will make myself available. The attached notice reads as such. Chief Savasta, and by the way, I'm reading this with permission from the author. After speaking with you for a second time regarding me fitting up the vehicles for the department, I am going to once again decline taking on this task. As you know, there is a substantial amount of time and work that goes into building a police vehicle, which clearly falls outside the scope of my duties as a detective. I feel the cuts to our budget will impact manpower and overtime, seriously limiting my ability to juggle the time between building vehicles and performing my daily duties. In the past, I undertook these tasks due to our friendship and my wanting to help the department and the town save money. Truthfully, I have to say that after the public attacks on our department from certain committee members, I feel they have no idea the amount of work or the savings we have provided the town by doing this in-house. After recently hearing about a written statement saying that some people in town think the police department should take a bigger cut to their budget, solidified my decision to stop upfitting our vehicles. I understand this will increase the cost significantly by having to use an outside vendor to do this work from this point forward, and hope you understand and respect my decision. After 25 plus years of servicing the town and citizens of Paxton, I'm sad it has come to this. I promise you I will perform my regular duties as required in a professional manner. Respectfully submitted, David Keller. I did withhold that. I take full responsibility. I didn't think it was going to do anything to help move the town forward. So in light of transparency, which is the important word from the other night, I will talk about that. I just decided at the time that it was best to let things lie. Now, It was also disclosed that I did not recognize the CIPC chair during a discussion taking place regarding the dump truck. He made it clear during the discussion that as Finance Committee Chair and CIPC Chair that he should be recognized anytime pertinent discussion is taking place. He also stated that he had to beg, and that word was used, to be recognized during Citizen Speak, a statement with which I disagree. We have a sign-up for Citizen Speak, and no one has ever had to beg. That said, I apologize openly, Mr. Love, as I did not see you that moment asking to be recognized. That's on me. I didn't look up. That's my fault. I believe that I have a clear record of recognizing not just our Finance Committee Chair, but many people during meeting discussions. Even during Citizen Speak, I tend to allow more than the 3 minutes allotted per Select Board policy. I will also remind everyone, I'm not going to get into that. I'm going to skip that part. Because again, that's divisive, and I don't think that's bringing us forward. Finally, I was criticized, and maybe rightfully so. I'm not necessarily disagreeing with the criticism by a couple of people in a meeting that I had with them, saying that I should not have mentioned the open meeting law violation during an open meeting. I would prefer not to. But I want to make it clear that, number one, that meeting was not recorded. Number two, that I tried to do so in the softest way possible, where I reminded everyone that we all sometimes can play around with those things, and we got to all be careful. And number three, when I checked to make sure that I was correct, that it was an open meeting law violation, I was more than encouraged by a state official to file a complaint. I made it clear to that state official I did not want to do that. I didn't think bringing in an attorney general into the little town of Paxton because of a little, not a big deal. I did not think it was a big deal. I did not play it up to be a big deal. I didn't think bringing in the attorney general into our town was a good idea. I thought that was something that we could handle in-house, quietly, and I think that's what I attempted to do. So, all this being said, I'm asking that we back off of the Select Board a little bit, okay? Julia, Chris, Carol, and Kirk, who's not here this evening, he's vacationing, are unbelievable people. I rely on them often. When I talked about putting this together, the first thing I did was send it to Julia because I wanted her advice. I respect her opinion tremendously. These are great people. So I'm going to ask two things. Number one, I'm going to ask that the CIPC and the Finance Committee take a vote of no confidence in the chair of the Select Board. If the vote comes up positive, I am more than willing to discuss my departure from the board. More than happy to, because I don't believe that our Finance Committee, a very important committee, and everybody on the committee I have the greatest respect for, nor our CIPC, again, a committee with whom I have, or in whom I have great respect, I don't think they can do their work if they don't have faith in the leadership of the town. So I would ask, and again, I cannot tell, I am not the chair, but I would ask that a vote of no confidence take place in both of those committees. If the vote doesn't take place, or if it comes up in the negative, then let's please work, all of us, me included, by the way. I am not singling anybody out. This is all of us. We need to work in a more congenial way. If it comes up positive, like I said, I'm more than willing to discuss my departure. That's where I'm going to leave it. I was asked by an awful lot of people to run for this position. As the police chief and Julia and the bunch of other people, I mean, my wife and I couldn't go out to, that's not true, that's an exaggeration. Several times we were out to dinner and people I didn't know would come up and ask me. I was taking tickets, volunteering at Wachusett High School. Somebody came up to me, I have no idea who he was. He said, "You've got to run. We want you to run." I had one citizen actually say to me, this is a direct quote, It's not that we want you to run, it's that we need you to run. So I said, all right, I'll give it a shot. Be more than happy to, because I like everyone. I like the people with whom I'd be working, both on this board and on all the other committees and boards with whom I get to work. And I didn't know I'd be working with you, Robert, which makes it a bonus still. And of course, Donna, you're a saint. So I'm here. But if my leadership is dividing this team, I'll say team, I was going to say town, but team is better. If my leadership is dividing this town, then I need to go. All right, I don't have any other correspondence. Thank you for my long-winded response. Town administrator's update.
Okay, so for my update, I wanted to go over my Veterans Day recap at PCS on November 12th. I had the opportunity to go over with some of our veterans in town to make a presentation to the sixth graders at Paxton Center School, and I could not be more impressed by what occurred that day. They really went through their personal experiences and really connected with all the kids in the classroom, generated a lot of great questions, and I truly believe that all of them know what to do next Veterans Day, and that is to thank the veterans that they know and anyone that they see that could possibly be a veteran. So I thought that that was a terrific event, and I'm glad that we do that on a consistent basis. I also wanted to give everyone an update that we're in the process of getting our stairs replaced at the town hall. So we did have an incident a little while ago where they were impacted by a vehicle. So through insurance and everything like that, we are now in the beginning phases of shoring up our stairs and making sure that we keep the historical characteristics of the building intact while making very safe and accommodating stairway into our building. We've also got 3 grants approved over the past 2 weeks. So I know that we talked about getting a generator at the town hall. Following that discussion, we were able to obtain a grant from Maya for $8,255, which will cover the install for an automatic transfer switch generator that will power the town hall. So we'll be all good there. No additional funds are needed, so it is totally taken care of. We also got a $4,625 salt reduction grant, which was done through DPW's effort. And then we also got a $3,360 recycling dividend programs fund grant, which helps with all of our recycling initiatives, which is a very great thing for our town. I know that we talked about Bay Path a little earlier in regards to possibly making some updates at 10 West. They've also sent along a flyer to us about their annual house building project. So that's something that if anyone has a proposed site or anything that they would like to pass along to them, this is your opportunity to send it to jprince@baypath.net, and applications are to be filled out by January 5th of next year. And then we are going to have our state reps in the town hall again. So hopefully everyone that wasn't able to go last time they were there will be able to make it this go around. That will be December 9th from 2:30 to 3:30, and it will have 2 representatives from Kim Ferguson and Peter Durant's offices. And then lastly, we have our holiday at the Town Common, which is going to be happening on December 5th. So hopefully a lot of people will show up to that. It's a great time. We have people dancing. We have, tables set up by the American Legion, the library, Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, Lions Club. And then you can take pictures with Santa, and please bring a food donation for the Paxton Food Bank. But it's always a good time, and I hope to see everyone there, and I hope everyone has a happy Thanksgiving.
Terrific. Thank you, and congratulations on the grants.
Thank you. We are always looking for grants, and I hope to have some more updates for you shortly on that.
Excellent. Good. All right, citizens speak.
Try to throw it here. Mr. Lowe.
I actually,
It's on.
I think it's on.
Yep.
actually have three things, if you'll bear with me. One of them is going back to 10 West. I don't think that there was any conclusion reached. There were good arguments on both sides, and I think it was deferred to Robert to pick up a charge. I would recommend or suggest that Robert bring that issue to Capital Improvement Planning Committee, because the name of our committee is Capital Improvement Planning Committee, and I think that the building going forward is either going to need improvements or retrofitted for community use, or it's going to need improvements to get it ready for sale. I also think you might want to consider bringing it to the Finance Committee, because either or, it's going to have some financial impact, and then bring that input back to the Select Board, and maybe that can help make a determination. The second thing is you started speaking this evening, Peter, about the Finance Committee and in two emails that were sent to your attention. You read one from me. For whatever reason, you didn't read the other that was sent to you by the Vice Chair of the Finance Committee, essentially pointing out that of the warrant articles that came to our attention, at the end of the day, there were 8 of them. 2 of them were corrected by the Finance Committee. 2 of them were changed markedly, significantly from what we first saw. And a 5th one was changed entirely from what we voted on. That one was brought to your attention by the Vice Chair, and we were just asking you, given the significance of those changes, we felt that we should have been extended the courtesy of having those articles, warrant articles, sent back to us.
I have the email. Would you like me to read it? I'm sorry, I missed it. That's my fault. It was in a chain, and I just missed it.
You just said it's your fault. You've apologized enough, Peter, so there's no reason to this
More
evening.
than happy to do it when I'm wrong.
By my count, there was about 5 or 6 of them. That's not the issue. The issue is, going forward, we would like to be communicated with, and I would go on record as saying that the Finance Committee did a damn good job reviewing the warrant articles, getting them ready for December 1st special town meeting. And it was almost as if we didn't really exist. That we met, we had those changes, we made those corrections, and then we were taken out of the loop, so to speak, entirely. All done, they're ready to go. We'll be there Monday night to vote approval. We would have preferred that it would have been communicated to us differently. Both of us went on record as taking exception to that. Then you, I think, took occasion to go into great detail about the Capital Improvement Planning Committee meeting, which was held last Thursday. This is not the Capital Improvement Planning Committee meeting this evening. I don't want to speak on their behalf, even though the Vice Chair is with me this evening. At that meeting, when we were making all of those concerns and expressing all those concerns, we went clearly on record, and I went on record in writing to Robert today as well, the invitation to have a joint meeting to discuss any of those is open to the Select Board at any time, any place, any evening, under any venue. And we continue to make that offer. Don't want to discuss all the items that you raised this evening, but the offer to bring those to the table at a joint meeting at CIPC still stands.
I appreciate that. Thank you, sir.
Can I just say something?
Please.
I watched the Capitol meeting as well, and to be honest, it's nice that you're inviting the Select Board to a joint meeting, but I think if you had those issues that you was going to bring up for 40 minutes, I think it would have been nice and respectful to invite the select board there and then. I'd like to go on record for saying that, because I don't like to watch something and see that we're such bad people. We haven't done this and we haven't done that. And also bringing up the previous liaison. I think it would be more respectful if you was going to talk about us to invite us to that meeting. Thank you.
Well, we think we've fulfilled our obligation because the select board liaison was there that evening, so we weren't doing it in the darkness of night. We were doing, it was a recorded meeting, a public meeting, and the select board liaison was there. And I'll echo again, a joint meeting, if that's the wish of the select board, the Capital Improvements Planning Committee would welcome that at any time.
All right, let's leave that discussion there. Thank you for the invitation. Thank you, Carol. Mr. Bagnus.
Good evening. We're at the bottom of the ninth, 2 outs, ready to go for the special town meeting a week from tonight. I just want to inform those that may be watching that we're close. We have a couple of warrant articles that will be discussed and hopefully voted on, and I'm looking forward to having as many of the residents in town show up to that meeting. Just a quick aside, the 3 grants that you mentioned tonight, those were state grants, correct?
No.
No.
Those were outside of the state.
Yeah, so all of them weren't.
Okay, because over the last 5 years, I think I've reiterated this previously, but we have averaged somewhere between $700,000 and $750,000 a year of state eligible grants. And again, if this does not pass on Monday evening, that all just vanishes. It disappears in smoke, and the makeup of those funds, whatever they were and whatever we use them for, will fall on the backs of the residents of the town. So that's, not only is it important to get this passed and comply, but just to realize the big picture moving forward. So along with that, that's, I guess, my little, again, public safety announcement, or service announcement. I said that the other night. Public service announcement for getting as many residents as we can to turn out next Monday evening.
And to reiterate something that you've said in the past, we are just voting on an overlay district. We are not voting approval of anything.
Correct.
Other than if somebody someday wishes to do this, here's where they can do it. That's it. That's all we're doing.
100% correct. This is a compliance matter or issue only. It has nothing to do with building or development or whatever, because we have no projects that have come before the town or the planning board or the select board in any way, shape, or form. This is something that has been mandated by Boston. It has affected 100 and I believe 37 or 173 communities in the state.
171.
How many?
171.
Thank you. 171. And we have until December 31st to come up with a decision. One way or the other, we have a decision to make. It does not correspond with, once it's passed, it's going to be built. That is so far from, the timeline that's out there.
And the only reason I mention that is because that's one of the things I still continue to hear and look to refute every chance I get.
Yes, and it is not low-income housing. I hear that. I heard that the other day in town. Somebody just said, why are you doing this, and what are we going to, we're changing the characteristic of our community. And I said, we're not. Just please come and listen with an open mind, because the facts will be presented probably for the 10th or 11th time through information sessions and public hearings and all of that. Again, you've been very nice to allow me to speak for the last 3 meetings about what's going to take place, and I just want the people to show up and deal in fact, because if you come with a preconceived idea of what's going to happen, I'm going to bet those people will be wrong in terms of if you're against this or whatever. I think it's a good thing for the community because it allows us to continue to grow with state aid. Okay?
Excellent.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Paxton.
Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening. I just have 2 questions. One is the source of the money to purchase that equipment for the cable committee. Where does that money is coming from? And what is the budget for the cable committee? And does that money come from the town or through Spectrum?
Well, Mr. Palovich isn't here, but we do have somebody on the cable committee. So,
Brian Pelicano, 7 Crestwood. I'm the vice chair of the cable committee. The money that the cable committee runs on is from PEG. It's strictly forbidden to go anywhere other than public education and the broadcasting. It's federal law that it comes, and it's stuck strictly there. So now we do things where I do believe we pay for the website or something along those lines, but we're all self-funded through PEG. And the way that money comes in is for every cable subscriber, we get a kickback from the company that we contract with, which is Spectrum. And that goes into our budget.
And so what's your budget?
Our budget right now is...
So it's not a budget per se, it's a
Yeah.
revolving fund, it's a special fund.
It's a special fund.
So there's nothing from the town, it all comes from the charter committee.
Yeah, so
the
I
charter.
misspoke. It's not a budget. It is just a revolving fund that all our money comes from, basically the subscribers and charter Spectrum.
So roughly what is it?
It's around $200,000 right now. Last I know.
well, that's is that how much you spend per year? Or is that how much?
No.
That's a fund balance, a revolving fund balance.
Yeah. As far as spending for a year, you'd have to see Nick for that.
Yeah.
I don't think it's up to date.
You said it's on the website?
The special revenue fund is posted on the website. Town accountant has a full listing of all those reports. And they're alphabetically listed, so as soon as you see cable, go left to right, they have a lot of money.
All right.
So basically, to answer your other question, the equipment that we have purchased has all been purchased from us through that PEG because we're able to use that for public education and outreach, along with the equipment that is going to be into the COA in order for us to broadcast live from the COA again.
So then that'll be set up at the COA with new equipment that you're going to be using that revolving funds to purchase.
Correct.
All right, very good.
I have one more question.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm changing subject.
Sir, just one quick question. You mentioned PEG. Now, does that allow you to spend some of that money for personnel purposes? So, for instance, if the committee decided to have somebody to edit programming and things like that, that would be something that they could actually hire somebody to do?
Yes, but that's what we're trying to do with an intern.
I understand that, but I mean, some of it's been mentioned to me in my capacity as on the charter committee that we need somebody who has the expertise and has the.
So I'm gonna recommend that you reach out to Mr. Palovich, because this is really cable committee discussion, and we're just along for the ride right now.
Okay, I have one more question.
Go ahead.
And it was brought up with the town administrator, mentioned the stairs at Town Hall.
Yes.
I know 2 people who have fallen down these stairs at the Public Safety Building, leaving night meetings, because that last step is in complete shadow. And is there any way to get some lighting down there to avoid that misstep?
I'll tell you what, I'm going to refer that to Mr. Birkbeck. You can look into that.
Absolutely.
All right.
It looks like Julia wants it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
You know, that's a fair point. It's dark out there.
I thought there was extra lights that have already been installed out there, so
There's nothing on that last
you don't
step.
see anything on the last step? Okay.
I got it.
All right, thank you. Don, anybody else?
That is all.
All right. I'm going to need a motion then to leave the regular session and enter into executive session.
I move that we leave regular session and enter into executive session.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. This is a roll call vote. Julia?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Carol?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye.